So in the very first part of the IELTS interview, I want you to talk about your hobbies. What do you generally do when you in your free time?
When I find free time, I usually want to read a book.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I'm reading a book about
Mm-hmm.
the life of Steve Jobs, who is one of the co-founders of Apple Incorporation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also like to watch a movie and watch TV series. HBO is a great company in this field, so I prefer to watch movies from the company.
Mm-hmm.
I followed the Game of Thrones. I mean, all of 7 seasons of the Game of
Mm-hmm.
Thrones at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting for next season to come in next year.
I think that
I
is going to be
prefer,
the last one, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm waiting for the next season, and
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoy hanging out with my friends,
Uh-huh.
talking to them and speak about everything,
Mm-hmm.
about the life, about my work and everything.
Are you a sociable person, or usually do you prefer to stay alone? Because some
Um,
people actually are introverted, some others are extroverted. Which one are
uh, you
you?
know, in terms of sociability, I
Mm-hmm.
prefer to say that I'm not sociable, as you mean. I love myself. I love to think about myself. I prefer to have my own private area and to think about myself, to decide about my future and to organize everything in my memory. I think when it comes to become involved in other people, you may not follow your future easily
Mm-hmm.
and follow your tasks and everything. But I'm not a very isolated person, although
Mm-hmm.
I rather being on parties and enjoying meetings and everything, but not so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, do you believe that friendship should be mutual, or you can actually think of one-sided friendship?
I believe in a mutual friendship, as you said, like every other, relationship that we have in our
Mm-hmm.
society. A man and a wife, when they decide to become a family and to build up their own family,
Mm-hmm.
it should be mutual. Friendship should be mutual. And when it tends toward one-sided relation,
Mm-hmm.
it will fail sooner or later. It will fail, and it goes into a situation that cannot be kept easily.
Yeah, because we have a type of friendship which is called fair weather friendship, that is one-sided. So you don't believe in that. Okay. So the first item that you just raised was reading books. So you prefer reading to watching movies. Is that right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, which specific genre of books or type of books do you usually read?
And I'm a software engineer. In terms of reading books, I mean
Reading. Mm-hmm.
mainly, yeah, reading books. I mainly mean technical books.
Mm-hmm.
Those are related to my field of profession. But I love reading biographies and knowing about the lives of successful people around the world, specifically those are those who are associated to the technology and the modern world. But I prefer and I enjoy reading historical books. The books which are related to the annals of a specific
Mm-hmm.
field.
Mm-hmm.
Countries, background, and everything.
That's why you like Games of Thrones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But Games of Thrones is not. I think it's not a true story. It's a
Yeah.
mixture of the
Fiction.
history of a
Yeah.
country. Yeah, exactly. It's a fiction.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. It was good for the first part of the interview. And for that, well, this is about history and historical monuments. So you have 1 minute to brainstorm over that. Okay, you may start.
Okay. At the central part of Copenhagen, close to Nørrebro Station, there is a palace which is called Rosenberg Palace. It was the house of kings of Denmark. When you come to the palace, you can visit. How they lived among the years. If you go into the palace, you can see that it's a beautiful garden. At the center of garden, there is a very nice palace, which at the moment is a museum. We should buy a ticket to enter to the museum. And in comparison to my country, the ticket for the museum is really expensive. I mean, the 10 times more expensive than what we have in our country. But after you buy the ticket, you can go into the palace and see what is inside it. It consists of 3 floors. In the basement, you can see crowns. Very expensive and very valuable crowns from kings. Mainly Fredericks, I think, who was one of the greatest kings of Denmark. And at the other floor, you can see swords and other materials related to those era. But what I dislike about this museum was that it's very limited. In terms of time. You can see everything from 300 years ago. But in my country, you can see everything from thousands of years ago, even from 7,000 years ago. Saltman, I think, which is called Saltman. However, one Saturday we went to the museum. We enjoyed so much having time there, and I want to see the place again.
Okay, very good, excellent. You manage your time, and actually you gave a comprehensive answer to the question. Very good. All right. Okay, part 3. So, what is the effect or influence of history in our lives?
By going through the history, you can understand how people, people from thousands or hundreds years ago lived, and in the way that they tackled the problem. Besides, I think by going through history, you can easily understand how something evolved during the time.
So what is the use of that, if you know that how something evolved?
If you go through the museum, you can, for example, a museum. Yeah. For example, when we went to the museum in Frederiksberg, we saw a jewelry museum, which was a part of Treasury Museum, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. The necklace, the rings and everything that we saw there. And if you are, for example, if you are a fashion designer, by looking at them, you can, imagine. You can. It helps your productivity, and you can build and create new, models in your field. Not for fashion designer, but everyone. Yeah, it really inspires you to build up new items, new models.
And as you said, you are interested in history. In the first part of the interview, you just raised that point. Is that right? Are you interested?
Yeah, yeah, I'm interested in reading books about the history and history of countries. It helps me to better understand why a country is in this shape at the moment. Everything, how everything works, and the relationship between people and everything.
Can you explain or give a very tangible example about how specifically history has helped you in your life?
In fact,
as a software engineer, perhaps.
As a software engineer, I want to see the museum which is related to computer, which is related to the computers and computer system. By looking at such museum, you can see that how things were difficult, and at the moment you are not involved in such tasks. For example, in such museum related to computer, you can easily observe that, for example, 20 years ago, people used some punch cards to develop an application and to program the computer. It was really hard task. At the moment, we're not involved in such difficulties, and we have, a lot of equipment to focus on other aspects of the program.
And what's your prediction about the future of history? Do you think that it will be taught in schools and universities in, for example, 2 centuries from now?
Yeah, why not? At the moment, we're studying history at schools, at universities, and in the future, it has the same effect. But I think the method that are used in schools and in college and universities will be changed from reading a book to, for example, watching film or watching a podcast, listening to a podcast, and everything changed from paper to audio-visual system to better read the history and understand the history.
Yes, some people expose themselves to historical events and, let's say, history in general for the sake of seeking pleasure, and some others actually try to learn something from it. To which category of these 2 people actually do you belong?
Pardon, I didn't understand your question.
I said some people study historical events in order to get pleasure from that. Some people actually as a kind of entertainment. Some others try to learn something from it in a didactic and informative manner. To which group of these 2 people, these 2 groups of people, do you belong?
Although sometimes I tend to be a part of the first group that you have mentioned, reading history, understanding history, and from amusement aspect. But mainly I prefer to be placed at the second group, where people learn new things, new concepts about histories, or they achieve something from history and can applicate what they learned from history into their real lives.
Okay. Thank you very much. Time is over. You can write them down in order to try to just internalize them. You said, let me see, museum. I decided not to just correct you, but you repeated the word again and again. That's why I just corrected you in the middle of the speech, let's say. And you said among the years, but you should say, through the years. I should say through the years. During is better, or as you said, through. Yes, during or over the let's say over time, or in the passage of time, in the course of time, over the course of time, and something like this, but not among the years. It's not that common I don't want to say that it is grammatically correct or incorrect, but it's not that common. And you said what is inside it. Do you know the difference between inside and inside?
No.
Well, inside is adjective, inside is adverb. So here you usually focus, it's not an adjective, so it must be an adverb. So there are, let's say, stress pattern shifts to the second syllable.
Oh my God.
You know, for example, say the inside layer of that structure. This is the adjective. But when you say it is inside it, okay, so here it is an adverb. The same is true about outside and outside. Okay. And you said at the next floor or something. It's better to say on that floor. Okay. And you said however, but you should say however.
However.
And you said treasure, but I think you meant treasure.
Treasury.
Yes.
Treasury.
You pronounce it treasure, I think.
Oh my.
And you used although, and in the next sentence you used but.
Incorrect. Yeah.
And you said can applicant or something, but I think you meant can apply, because applicant,
I want to say can applicate.
So apply again, I think actually could have the same meaning, and it is grammatically flawless. Okay. So the rest was really great. I'm really satisfied with your performance, and it's clear that you will have a marvelous performance on the day of the exam.
Okay.
Thank you for your listening. I'm Dr. Hariri, and I can help you to improve your English academically in preparation for the IELTS and TOEFL exam. Here you can see my contact information, including my telephone number, Skype ID, and also website address at lelb.net, and in the footer area of the website you can have all the other necessary contact information in order to stay in touch with me. Thank you and have a great time.